Jacob conceived Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. Now the procreation of the Christ occurred in this way. After his mother Mary had been betrothed to Joseph, before they lived together, she was found to have conceived in her womb by the Holy Spirit. Then Joseph, her husband, since he was just and was not willing to hand her over, preferred to send her away secretly. But while thinking over these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in his sleep, saying, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to accept Mary as your wife, for what has been formed in her is of the Holy Spirit, and she shall give birth to a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he shall accomplish the salvation of his people from their sins. Then Joseph, arising from sleep, did just as the angel of the Lord had instructed him, and he accepted her as his wife. Here are some of the early church fathers' thoughts on the actions of St. Joseph in this passage. Pseudo-Augustine expands on it thus: Joseph, understanding that Mary was with child, is perplexed that it should be thus with her whom he had received from the temple of the Lord, and had not yet known, and resolved within himself, saying, What shall I do? Shall I proclaim it, or shall I overlook it? If I proclaim it, I am indeed not consenting to the adultery, but I am running into the guilt of cruelty, for by Moses' law she must be stoned. If I overlook it, I am consenting to the crime, and take my portion with the adulterers. Since then it is an evil to overlook the thing, and worse to proclaim the adultery, I will put her away from being my wife. St. John Chrysostom says, Therefore, being just, that is, kind and merciful, he was minded to put away privily her who according to the law was liable not only to dismissal, but to death. But Joseph remitted both, as though living above the law. For as the sun lightens up the world, before he shows his rays, so Christ before he was born caused many wonders to be seen. Or, says St. Jerome, this may be considered a testimony to Mary, that Joseph, confident in her purity, and wondering at what had happened, covered in silence that mystery which he could not explain. And St. John Chrysostom adds, Also observe the mercifulness of Joseph, that he imparted his suspicions to none, not even to her whom he suspected, but kept them within himself. And behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph. St. Ambrose says, In this word appeared is conveyed the power of him that did appear, allowing himself to be seen where and how he pleases. According to Pseudo-Chrysostom, there were 3 reasons why the angel appeared to Joseph with this message. Firstly, that a just man might not be led into an unjust action with just intentions. Secondly, for the honor of the mother herself, for had she been put away, she could not have been free from evil suspicion among the unbelievers. Thirdly, that Joseph, understanding the Holy Conception, might keep himself from her with more care. And St. Remigius says, Life returned by the same entrance through which death had entered in. By Adam's disobedience we were ruined. By Joseph's obedience we all begin to be recalled to our former condition. For in these words is commended to us the great virtue of obedience, when it is said, And Joseph, rising from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had commanded him. Pope Benedict, in an address in July 2010, says this, And Joseph, trusting in God, consents and cooperates with the plan of salvation. Certainly the divine intervention in his life could not but trouble his heart. Entrusting oneself to God does not mean seeing everything clearly according to our own criteria. It does not mean doing what we have planned. Entrusting oneself to God means emptying oneself of oneself, renouncing oneself, for only those who accept to lose themselves for God can be called just, like St. Joseph. That is, can conform their will to God's and so fulfill themselves. If you would like more commentaries like these, go to journeywiththefathers.com.